Have you ever thought of moving to northern Nicaragua? But you probably had the question, what exactly is out there? And is it safe?
Can I go over there without getting mugged or kidnapped?
How was the transport aspect?
That's true in the sense that it's difficult to get around.
What is the name of the city we are in now?
It's Ocotal.
Ocotal, Nicaragua. Part 1 of
But yeah, farm life here in Nicaragua, it's beautiful to own a farm,
The Immense Story.
but you have to have a passion for it.
I've spent the past year and a half driving my motorcycle through Latin America, living in each country for a minimum of 6 weeks. This has been one of the most difficult projects I've ever embarked upon, and I really hope you enjoy all this content coming at you now. Bro, I thought I told you not to wear blue jeans, a black shirt, and a blue hat.
I mean, when you're in Nicaragua, you have to match. It just works out that way.
Welcome back to Generic Expats. Today we have a special guest, a really cool character that we're going to be meeting, and he's going to give us some information about what he's doing, why he's doing it, and a little bit about his personal background and how you can connect with him and follow him on his projects. All right, so let's go ahead and get some information from you, my friend. Could you please tell us what is your name, where are you from, and how long have you been living here, and where are we now?
Yeah, so my name's Elton. I was born in California, but both my parents are Nicaraguan. And I've been here now in Nicaragua for 2 years. I actually moved back after living majority of my life in the States.
How old are you now?
Right now I'm 33.
So you moved back when you were 31,
Yeah.
and you spent the first 31 years all living in the US.
Yeah, a portion of it. I spent living in the US and I worked a corporate life pretty much. So I did that grind of 8 to 5, 40 hours a week. Yeah.
So where exactly in the US did you live?
California,
What city in Cali?
Hayward. So about 40 minutes from San Francisco.
Okay, awesome. And what type of job did you have back in California that you were doing in the corporate world?
So I worked in manufacturing. I was a manufacturing supervisor, a manager for a very long time. I did that, but eventually burned out and realized that it wasn't for me.
Yeah. That definitely is a story that's very common to hear. You know, I never was in the corporate world, but I hear that from a lot of people I meet, and you're one more example of that. Where exactly are your parents from? You said your parents are from Nicaragua?
Yeah, so North Nicaragua, exactly. So right now we're at my grandma's hacienda here in North Nicaragua, and you can see how very peaceful and calm it is. This is where she comes and relax, and so we're very close to Honduras in the border, which
Right.
is unusual because most people go to South Nicaragua, and that's where you'll find all the expats. But I'm the only one out here, which I like because it's a lot more quiet.
Yeah, this is definitely a unique place, and I was really surprised when I was driving here. The curvy mountain, beautiful roads, and just pretty much all of Nicaragua has great roads for all of you drivers there, motorcycle drivers especially. And yeah, so this is an area really close to the border. What is the name of the city we are in now?
It's Ocotal.
Ocotal. Instead of the states in Nicaragua, they have a department, right? So what is the name of the department we're in?
So right now we're in Nueva Segovia department, city of Ocotal. Yeah.
So you are living now here in Ocotal, and I have come here to spend some time with you, get to know you, and also get to know some of your projects. Thinking about your story, you left the corporate world and you came here to Nicaragua. Why did you decide to leave the corporate world and not live in the US anymore?
Well, it came down to finding fulfillment, to be honest, because I did corporate world for a long time and I climbed the ladder, like they say, and I realized I was just leaning against the wrong wall. Like I could go home and realize like I have everything I need, the supposed American dream, and how come it just feels so empty? So that's when I started to make plans to move back to Nicaragua after my father and grandma passed away, and they left me a piece of land here, which was an abandoned coffee farm. So that's when I decided to sell everything I owned in the States and come back here, come back to the roots of where my family started, and just begin on the project that I've been working on.
Moving from the US back to Nicaragua, I mean, the US is more home than Nicaragua is for you, correct?
Yeah, correct. Yeah.
So was it difficult adapting to coming back to where your family is from and where you never really lived long term?
Yeah, it was definitely harder than I thought. I thought I was going to come back here and plug myself in, but it took me about a year to just get settled in and be like, all right, I like it here better. And I think what helped was getting embedded with the community. Like if you're doing something where you're meeting people and getting to know your friends and building relationships, then you feel like home out here. That's where it really starts to change.
Definitely. That's a good point because you need to feel comfortable where you're living. When you move abroad, you don't want to go somewhere where you can't connect with the people. And, well, being that you speak Spanish, it's a first language, right?
Correct. Yeah, I speak Spanish fluently and English too. So that does help a lot. But I've known people, expats that come to visit me and they speak zero Spanish, but somehow have amazing friends and they go out and party and have good times, you know?
Yeah, really, it's not a huge issue not knowing Spanish. All the people I've talked to that have very limited to almost nothing in Spanish, they have lots of local friends, people that they meet, and they can just communicate with them, and you can communicate without knowing each other's language perfectly. So that's not really a massive hurdle. You came back here, and then you started to make your social network and started to feel more comfortable after about a year, you said, right?
Yeah, after about a year, then you move back and then you start to see the way things move here. Just Nicaragua is just a lot slower pace. People care a lot about their family and their own time. It's not really rushed like in the US where everything's just under the gun, you know? Here is just different life, a lot slower. I mean, look where we're at. It's just so peaceful, you know? It's very relaxing.
Besides talking about adapting to the new life here, you said you started a project. Could you talk a bit about the location of this farm that you mentioned?
Yeah, so the farm is still in the department of Nueva Segovia. So it's about a two-hour drive from here, and it's deep in the mountains. It's in high elevation, and that's where you grow the best coffee. So we're rebuilding the farm out there, starting from zero, and it's a promise that I made to my grandma that we're doing good on. So this line of work here, really, I find more fulfilling, and I've gotten to just come back to this beautiful country and just fall in love with it. It's just amazing out here.
Do you guys grow anything besides coffee, or is coffee the only thing there?
Yeah, so coffee is our primary source of income, but we also grow bananas, plantain, ginger, yucca, potatoes. There's about a list of 25 different things. If you like agriculture, you want to do permaculture or just hard farmland, you can totally do that out here. You'll knock yourself out.
Do you basically sell the coffee outside of the country and the rest inside? How do you manage that part?
So we harvest right throughout the year, 3 months of the year, and then we export it and it's sold in San Francisco, California. And I also sell it through my website online, which is a direct buy from us. And at the end of the day, it helps the people on the farm because we can directly reinvest back into the farm.
But do you sell all of the different things that you mentioned that you plant, or just coffee?
Right now, just export coffee and sell coffee. The other stuff is for the people working on the farm because we have maybe 5 to 8 people that come and go throughout the farm in the year. So they grow their own food to eat.
All right, so just to make it clear, you're not going to be able to find plantains or mangoes on his website. It's just going to be the coffee, right?
That's true, yeah. But if you drink my coffee, it might taste like mango and plantains.
Maybe you can send them a free plantain on the side, right, directly from your farm as a gift. Hey, this is where this is coming from. Not only the coffee, but these other plants and cool fruits and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good idea, actually, yeah.
What is the exact name of the place where it's located?
Yeah, it's very remote. We're going to go tomorrow to my farmer, and you guys are going to see it, but it's called La Victorias Murra. So very up north, tucked in the mountains here. Minimal people make it there, so.
Okay, so besides this project that you're doing, which is something you dedicated your time and energy to, do you also do something on the side to help make this project continue faster?
Yeah, so once I moved back, I realized that Nicaragua really is a hidden gem and diamond. So I got the initiative to start my own content creation and YouTube channel where I show life in Nicaragua, what it's really about. Because I want people to just see it, because it gets a really bad rap, and I just feel it's unfair because the people here are amazing, the food, it's very affordable to come live, and it's just something that people need to experience. So I'm doing content creation on my YouTube channel, Instagram, and TikTok also. So that's my other side project.
What are the names of these channels and projects that you have on the social media?
The name is Immense Coffee Movement. Immense Coffee Movement on YouTube and Immense Logic on Instagram. That's both the names that I'm going.
How about TikTok?
TikTok is Immense Coffee.
Similar ideas, but you had to change it up for a couple of those. That happened also with mine when I was thinking about making multiple social medias. I'm like, oh, I can't make it on all of them. Complicated.
Yeah.
Definitely check out his videos. He has a lot of awesome content, and he definitely shows strong passion for what he's doing with his coffee. Can you talk a little bit more about the coffee and what specifically you're selling and where you're selling it to?
Yeah, definitely, man. Coffee, really, people don't realize coffee is people. When I got into coffee, I thought it was just selling coffee, but I realized that I'm now working with people who are passionate about it, and I have people who are farming it, who have families, and we all have to make a living. So it's like this team effort to grow this beautiful bean that millions of Americans drink it, but have no idea how it's farmed. So the coffee itself, it's high elevation. It's considered specialty coffee, and there's certain types of varieties, and each variety has its own flavor. So it's pretty cool to experiment with. But it's a hard job to get into, though, to be honest, because it takes a long time. It's definitely taught me a lot of patience.
And that cycles me back to your content creation, because you also put a huge emphasis on the coffee process on your channel and on your social media accounts where you make all this content, correct?
Yeah, I definitely do, because I feel that the average person drinking coffee has no idea what's going on. And if everybody just had a little more content coming their way towards the farm level, I think the world would be a better place with the farmers down below and what they would get and everything.
Yeah, definitely giving an appreciation to the entire process from the beginning to the end. It's actually something that I see happening a lot. Like, for example, on YouTube, when I see some super viral videos, guys that are like digging holes to build pools and stuff in Asia and stuff. I'm like, those are amazing. Like, it's like a billion views in like 10 days. It's like, what? Because people are really interested in saying, really, what is the beginning point and what is the end point and what actually happens? So it seems like you're kind of going down that route, right?
Yeah, that's a good perspective, actually. I didn't think about, yeah, that's it. It's trying to show what it takes and what it is, actually, because it's still artisanal here in Nicaragua. You come up, people are working with their hands and with nature, you know, so people need to see this, you know?
Yeah. It's a super interesting thing to see from start to finish. And of course, when we just see like a little plastic package in the US, we don't really put our minds to it. So he does a really great job at bringing you back to the start and how it goes to the finish point. And I really think you should check out his content on his YouTube channel. How big is your farm and is it growing? Are you doing anything to continue making it bigger and adding more employees to increase the amount that you can produce?
Yeah, good question, man. The farm itself is 70 acres. And coffee, it's only 2 acres, but I plan on going 5 acres implementation throughout the next 3 years. So I'll have maybe 15 acres by 3 years from now. So it's slowly growing, and I'm going slowly on purpose because I'm still learning, and I already made a bunch of mistakes. So
that's the process.
Yeah, that's the process. So I try to slow down actually and just enjoy the process. And I feel that by enjoying the process, it's definitely more fruitful. But yeah, farm life here in Nicaragua, it's beautiful to own a farm, but you have to have a passion for it because 70 acres is a lot of land to manage, you know, and you're managing people. And so if you have a love for it, definitely something that you can come do out here.
How many people do you have working for you on this project, on this company that you have with the coffee?
Yeah, so on site, I have one family that lives there permanently. And throughout the year, maybe I employ maybe 5 to 10 people that come and go seasonally. During harvest is more because we have people picking coffee, 10's the max.
When is the harvest?
Yeah, so the harvest in Nicaragua is starting in January and goes all the way to April. And so higher elevation farms will start later because it matures slowly, the bean, because you're higher up in the mountains.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Like the higher in elevation, the slower everything else is. Like, for example, I lived in Arequipa, Peru, and that's 2,300 meters. When I cooked beans there, oh my God, it took like 12 hours to cook the...
dense because, yeah, it's more elevation, yeah.
The higher elevation, you add more water, you boil for longer, so everything is just slower up there. The higher it is for your coffee beans, it'll grow slower, and then it'll take longer for that to happen. Yeah, so what is the elevation of your farm now?
My farm's 1,250.
1,250 meters.
Meters above sea level. Yeah, so here in Nicaragua, you'll find the tallest point in Nicaragua is like 2,100 meters above sea level, which we're near right here. We're about like a 60-kilometer drive to that mountain, which is Cerro Mogoton. If you like hiking, I definitely recommend it.
So for those of you that know a little bit about the geography of Central America, or if you've seen some of my channels, you'll know that Nicaragua doesn't exactly have super high peaks and cities in the mountainous areas, such as Colombia, which I'm going to be exploring later. Guatemala is a great example. Mexico is a great example. They have really high mountainous cities, whereas Nicaragua, like he said, 2,100 meters is not very high compared to the neighboring countries with cities that are way above that. It's definitely a place for people that are more looking for the humid, warmer areas. Like he said, the coffee beans only grow in a certain area. So you found a good spot and your family had that farm and they took advantage of that altitude, right?
Yeah, exactly. And that's how it is. And you have to find those prime spots, you know, because you don't want to go battle in a difficult area because it won't work out too much.
So besides the process of making the coffee, let's talk about where you sell the coffee to and how you do that. Where are most of your customers from?
After I process the coffee, I harvest it, I ship it to San Francisco, and there's actually Proyecto Diaz, who is a roastery that's in San Francisco. They purchase the green beans from me and they sell it there. So it's just distributed across California. At the same time, I also have my own brand brand that when someone orders online, it'll get freshly roasted, and they can definitely try it out that way too. So I sell it both methods.
What's the name of your own personal brand?
It's called Immense Coffee.
So if you want to try his specifically grown, specifically roasted brand, Immense Coffee, definitely check that out. This is sold only in California, or you can buy it obviously online.
Yeah, it's short nationwide. You buy it online, it'll ship anywhere in the U.S. I tried Canada a little bit, but sorry, shipping's too expensive right now. I'll figure it out and I'll make it to Canada eventually.
All right, awesome. That's good to know. And are you trying to do any new things with your coffee products in the future? Or do you have any different ideas of innovating in any field that you're working on now?
I was thinking about potentially like a national brand. So the thing with Nicaragua here, the beautiful thing is that you can kind of start a business quickly and test the market, and if it doesn't work out, then you just scratch it and start another place, right? So that's the beauty. Like, you don't have too much red tape to get something off the ground. So I'll eventually maybe try like a national brand here in Nicaragua. Instead of exporting the beans, I can sell it to people locally here who drink it.
That's a great idea, because there is a lot of coffee in this country, but from what I'm understanding, most of it is exported. There are some local brands, but for example, like I bought coffee here I usually buy instant. Sorry, I don't want to break your heart. You're going to look at me now like, this guy's not worth anything. No vale nada. But the thing is, I work really, really early mornings, and brewing my own cup because I'm moving from city to city. I don't always have a coffee maker. I don't always have the filter. Literally, I wake up, I scoop the coffee into hot water, and I start working. So the coffee that I bought here is actually beans from Mexico.
Oh, wow.
That was like roasted in like Costa Rica. I'm like, what?
So
Nothing to do with Nicaragua, and it's here in Nicaragua. Like, why don't we just consume the stuff from the local people? People want to make more money from the export qualities. That's probably why.
Exactly.
Nicaragua itself is a very undiscovered place, and people don't know much about it. What are maybe the three things that are maybe misconceptions that people think Nicaragua is like, but it's not like that after being back here for so long?
Yeah, number one, that Nicaragua is unsafe. That's the number one question I get asked. I get emailed, I get texted. It's, can I go over there without getting mugged or kidnapped? And the answer is yes. You can come over here. Look at this guy here. He's over here all the way up north, and it's been fine for him. I've hosted a bunch of expats that have come out here to come visit my farm, and they've loved it over here. Zero problems. They traveled. Actually, I think it's safer than Costa Rica. That's what I've heard from people coming from Costa Rica into Nicaragua. So that's number one. Number two is just that it's difficult to get around. That's true in the sense if you're traveling by bus, but it's doable, right? It just takes a lot longer, and you won't be
driving here. I drive here every day on my motorcycle. If you are in a car or anything not on two wheels, it will take forever. So you need patience. If you're on a truck, and his truck he has right here next to us, or in a car, a bus, anything besides a plane, right? Motorcycle or bicycle, you can literally go around them, but fine. On this type of transportation, you need to have patience. And what about number three?
So number three, I think sometimes people are intimidated of the Nicaraguan people themselves. I feel like, I don't know why, maybe because of the news, they don't give them a chance. And the best thing about Nicaragua is the people. And so once you open your doors to the people here, you'll see how welcoming they are. If you go to the U.S., you're not going to get treated like you get treated here in Nicaragua, because they will treat you well. They'll give you hospitality. They'll try to help you in any way. So open yourself up to the people here, and you will not regret it.
Definitely, the people is a massive, massive benefit. I think I found it in most of Latin America that people have been given maybe an unfair, bad rap for whatever reason from media. But you're right. I mean, that's a definite part that coming here to Nicaragua specifically, people here are fantastic. So that's a good point. Let's do a summary of all the places where people can find your work and your content, and then your website to order your coffee if they're interested. So let's start with YouTube.
Yeah, so YouTube, Immense Coffee Movement on YouTube. Search me up, and then you'll see all my videos there. I try to post at least once a week. I'm going to try to crank that up. And it's life, just owning a farm. I show my family. I show everything because it's my daily life. I vlog it too. On Instagram, it's Immense Logic. I also post more consistently there, and you'll see shorter videos about life in Nicaragua. And on TikTok, it's Immense Coffee. And online to purchase my coffee, it's immensecoffee.com, and you can find it on there. So if you go on my YouTube video, all my links are below. How about that? Just click on the description, you'll find all my links below.
The easy way to go about this is straight to YouTube, because he has all the links for everything right there. Website, TikTok, all the stuff there. And it seems like your TikTok and Instagram are a bit more of like the short content. Do you have like a longer content on YouTube?
Yeah, YouTube just longer form. I try to connect more and show you guys just authentic stuff, and that's what it's about here.
Well, this is a really eye-opening experience. I'm I'm really hoping that everyone was able to find out how it really is to live here, and actually in his unique story coming back to live here after his parents are from here. This is something you should check out on his channel, and guys, make sure to like, subscribe on my channel, find his work as well. We have really similar information but in different ways. So let's go ahead and continue following each other. Like, subscribe, and hit notification bell. See you in the next one. Hasta la próxima.
See you later, guys.
Don Jesus, chócale.